let's get into some of these PulseX updates. So some interesting stuff. So this kind of came out of the blue. Richard did tweet out the update the other day, version 7 of PulseX. On the face, we basically got a new user interface. It looks like things are moving a little bit faster, but more importantly, new stablecoin pools and stable swaps are actually available on there to help minimize slippage with USD trades for bigger money that may be coming into the chain at later times. I don't know what you want to show, Ewok. We could actually, if you wanted to pull up PulseX and just to show those features for a moment, you could do that. I know we had a tweet that we could look at as well, but whatever one you want to pull up, but I'll direct it to you first, Crispy. So these changes really are like the most significant changes and updates we've seen to PulseX, I think, since it's been launched. I mean, a lot of people right away were like, where's the single-sided staking, and complaining about that and everything. The buy and burn's been doing its job. We just looked at the PulseX versus Pulse chart. It has gone from, it was at a 1-to-4 ratio at one point back towards the beginning. We've been below 1-to-2 even recently. We're at about 1-to-2 right now. So, Crispy, I'll start with you. What do you make of these updates? It's interesting that it's coming right now because, usually Richard being a marketing guy and the team, whatever they have already developed or are working on, you want to push out when things are starting to feel bullish. Things don't necessarily feel bullish right now, but this is just one update. We have Pulse at its all-time low at the moment. What do you make of these changes, and what is the real reasoning behind these being implemented right now on PulseX, you think?
Yeah, sure. Well, I would like to say something super positive first. I know we're all frustrated, but thank you to the devs who are actually working on this. They probably don't hear that enough. Unfortunately, with the people who are doing the development and doing the work, most times people are going to call you to complain, not to tell you you're doing a great job. So so there are some really strong things about PulseX. Yes, there's some slowdowns, there's some data stuff, there's some things that I would like to be better, and I'd like to see all the different features implemented. And so this is part of that roadmap. But thank you to the devs for doing that and working on it. So in particular, I think somebody else has said this, and I'm probably stealing their words. Bringing the stable swap kind of brings us to kind of like market level, what you would expect in most markets to be able to have the stable swap. And it's very exciting to see it. If you had to do swaps for different tokens, you would have observed that you get better deals depending on which stable you're in, and that's dependent on who you are or who set up the liquidity pools and what you're swapping to and all the rest. And then from a sheer pain in the ass point of view of having to swap from one to another to get where you want. Maybe if you're using Pateus, the aggregator doesn't pick up the pair. I mean, there's all these different things that are going on, and so you're getting extra slippage, right? Just by the fact that you had to go between the pools. So having a single pool that's unified, particularly if it gets mega sized, be very good. The lower fees are also very attractive. A lot of people probably wrongly assume that V1 pairs have no fees because they forget about the burning, but they have fees, right? So the V1 pools are a 0.25 fee that goes all to burning, right? So now if you have this stable pool that's out there that's only taking a 0.1% in fees, you have a cheaper alternative to be able to get to the pairs you want through USDT, USDC, and DAI. That's just right in the beginning if you're going between those two. And then of course that spreads out across all the different tokens, all the pools that are out there. So I think it's very bullish. I think it's a move in the right direction, probably brings us current with some other protocols, other layer ones out there. And like I said, it gives another alternative and an attraction for people to bring stables into the system. And who's to say we won't end up seeing a farm at some point? That's a possibility as well.
Yeah, I think so. Ewok, go ahead.
No, yeah, I totally agree. And this is something that will ultimately help bigger whales, bigger buyers start to look at this. Because if they do have, say, for example, $100,000 in USDC, what it's going to do if they want to buy with that is it's going to split it across the different pairs. So even if there is, say, Pulse versus DAI, Pulse versus USDC, Pulse versus Tether, it's going to split it and break it down so that they still get a better transaction, with less slippage. It will route it through the right pool, whichever has more liquidity, and help them as well. So, this does definitely favor the bigger buyers to get a better deal. So, although we did have
100%.
Pateus before, which would do that routing for you. Now a stable pool incorporated into that is going to be even that much better as well. So we have to remember that this is definitely going to help some bigger buyers take a look at this now.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool because and Pateus is already working on integrating it.
I saw that.
So, yeah. So I mean, at some point here, the aggregators will be able to leverage it. The ARB bots, if they weren't already able to do it, will be probably set up to do it. And so it's just going to help create a more efficient market.
Yep, for sure.
Richard, because he's helping coordinate our show tonight, I kid, but he just tweeted actually about this topic, Ewok, and I just DM'd it to you if you wanted to bring it up. He just talked about the stable swap stuff a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, I think he's kind of just demonstrating what it will do. But he's saying, I'll just start reading it as Ewok brings it up. But he says, why does the new PulseX 107 stable swap protocol code kick ass? Left side has stable swap off and 0.8% slippage. Right side has it on and 0.51% slippage. That's 36% less slippage. And that's with quite little liquidity in the stable swap currently. More liquidity, less slippage. So he's really just demonstrating it. But I mean, again, like you just said, I mean, maybe for like smaller time buyers or just, the percentage ends up being a lot of money, the more money is injected into the ecosystem. So I think it's a good demonstration. Yeah,
100%. He had posted a number of times about this subject, giving people direction, and I shouldn't say direction, giving people understanding that if you come over with DAI, you'll get a better deal. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I saw this as kind of an extension of that. And then recently came out and explained what the differences were between the different tokens and splitting it up. And so I don't do a lot of heavy, swapping with lots and lots of dollars. But even at the level that I'm at, when I do something, I can see the difference, mm-hmm. and how I'm getting hit with fees. And so multiply that by 100 or 1,000. You want somebody to bring $1 million in, they don't want to lose $50,000.
Right.
Yeah, I'm making up a gross number. I don't know what the numbers would be, but you don't want, you got to pay more than a few points. It's not attractive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. It's just good really to see an update of any kind, I think, to PulseX at this point. I don't know how many people saw this one coming right now, but I think it's one of the most bullish things. I mean, really, if you think about it, it's probably the most bullish thing we've seen for PulseX since its launch, because we really haven't seen too many things announced on it yet, other than just it doing the buy and burn, which no other DEX in crypto really is incorporating. So awesome to see this for sure. I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on any of this, let me know.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah. We were talking about this a little bit before we got started. I also think with Richard playing, or I should say the OA playing around with the SDAI protocol to earn a little bit of yield before things got kind of started, whatever. I think there could be something like that. I keep seeing these videos about Richard saying, I've got some things up my sleeve that I want to do. And, it just makes you wonder what they are. Now, he's obviously, I don't want to say he's not in a rush to get them done. Brett, I saw recently was away on vacation, just posted that he's back to work. He's one of the main developers that we know of anyway. And, it's cool to see some of these things appear, that looks like a lot of and even the little things, right? You've got logos, all the coins now. I don't know if you've seen it, but when you trade, here, let's share this. All your tokens, they all have logos,
Yeah.
A lot of them didn't before. So those are all, there's your Hexfire IO. I think that one was updated before, right, Crispy?
Yeah, about a week ago. They came
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, all of these tokens now have a a nice logo with them instead of just a blank. So, it's the little things, right? Little things, they all add up, and it's like, well, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. There's a lot of stuff to do. So it's good to see all these little things adding up. Eventually, we may see single-sided staking. But again, you don't want to give people that option. I don't think at this point. I think you want to do that more in a bear market. Give people a reason to lock it up instead of dump it.
Yeah, there's some argument about that as well as V3. If that's what you meant by single sided, I don't know, but V3 LP as well. That's an
single-sided staking is what I was
Yeah.
getting at, not necessarily liquidity, but yes, that would be nice too, to have the single-sided liquidity. So
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, listen, whoever they are, who's designed the whole thing, you assume it's Richard,
Zem,
right?
Zer.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but whatever's. But yeah, I mean, you imagine they have a big list of things that need to get done, and they prioritize them into the order they need to get done, and they need to be worked off, and some will be strategic, and as to when they take place, etc. But I don't have any insight other than what everybody else sees, into what's exactly happening. But yeah, I think all those things will come, and then in the meantime, I don't know, man. This is a juggernaut. I mean, I hear people complain, and and I see the FUD out in the X, but man, you just go look and see, the sheer amount of volume that's going through, the value that's here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's real value.
Yeah, and I think people are definitely discounting the community and things like that too. I just saw somebody comment earlier today, like going around looking at other communities and realizing there's nowhere near the fever pitch that there is in this one. It's just that prices have been depressed for so long that people are forgetting. What did Briz say? What was what compliment for Briz there?
He said Ewok's answer to how to eat an elephant is way better than mine. I was thinking you start at the ass.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect.
Always at the tail, Bruce. Bruce is always right. I'm sure that tastes the best. So.
Yeah. Get the worst part over with first. All right. So yeah, great stuff. Happy to see this from PulseX. We're going to see certainly more, I think, as I mean, again, if we're seeing something like this launch right now when sentiment is as low as it is and prices are as low as it is, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more, like you just alluded to, Crispy. So